Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 DIY crafts for fall that are under $5. These are super easy and super beautiful, and they are part of a playlist, which I'll explain in a little bit. Welcome to my channel, Freckled Mom DIY. I'm Devin. If you're new, welcome, and if you're returning, hey! Let's fall right into our first DIY. I am so in love with this DIY. It is a Dollar Tree or a mason jar, whatever you have for your mason jars. Some Dollar Tree ribbon, some burlap, and some stencils. If you guys saw, I used these stencils before, and I love the rustic feel of it. This paint is my apple barrel spiced berry, and I am going to cut up some ribbon, and this ribbon again from the Dollar Tree, and I love the color. I think it is so nice. I think this could really go for Christmas or fall, and that's why I chose this, so that way I could, if I wanted to, you'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm so excited because I love this. So all I'm doing is hot gluing to the jar and then hot gluing the end to the ribbon itself. Now I'm going to do 4 of these. You could do this for really anything. This is just so cute, and I just love how it came out. So you could do like all different variations of colors if you wanted to, whatever your colors were. I just chose this ribbon because I thought it was so pretty, but that burlap was very close to it. So if you find something that's a little different, I don't think it would look very bad. I think changing up the colors is great. I'm going to stencil those letters right onto that white burlap, and I'm using that apple barrel, and I just do 1 coat, and it really came out so perfect. So I had covered up the rims with that apple barrel. You don't have to put the rims back on it. I just thought it was going to give it an extra little detail. And here I just hot glued the dried stencil right to the jar. Now I did make like a whole square, and for the hot glue on that first one, here I'm just doing it in the corners. I'm just trying to see which one holds better, which one I like better. Sometimes the glue holds burlap differently, so I wasn't sure. So this one I'm just doing the top and the bottom, and you know what, they all held on pretty good, and so really however you want to hot glue it, I think is going to be fine. But I just hot glued this right to the front. You can still see a little bit of that ribbon shining through, but it's also, if it was turned on the side, you can see the ribbon. So I think it's super cute. I'm going to throw on all my lids here, and I thought I was done, but you guys know me, I need a little something something. So I had all these Dollar Tree flowers, they're so pretty, and some cotton, and then some little wispy guys, and how adorable is this? I am literally so obsessed. I love it so much. I think it is so sweet. I want to do it for every season now. I think this is just the prettiest display of mason jars. There's the flowers and the burlap and the colors. I love it. I just think it is so pretty. I had gotten this sign from my son's girlfriend when she cleaned out her room. It's pretty large, so I got it for free, which I love. So I'm just gonna give it 2 good coats of my plaster chalk paint. Now, like I said, this was really big and it's canvas, so I had to really give some thick coats to cover up those words. I also went along the edges with my elephant, which is another Waverly paint, just to give it a little contrast to that plaster paint. I went to my Cameo and I printed out some words, and I'm super excited how adorable this came out. You want to be careful because it is canvas, so you want to go through with a little bit of Mod Podge just to seal it in to reduce bleed through. I am filling in the stencil with my truffle paint by Waverly, which is a plaid product. I'm not going to go heavy on this because you definitely don't want it to bleed through, and I do 2 coats. If you're new to my channel or coming over from the playlist, welcome. We do a lot of Dollar Tree crafts, DIY, gifts and decor, thrift flipping, and more. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and subscribe. To all my current subscribers and Freckled Fam, thank you. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can also find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. Now I get my heat gun out and I heat up the vinyl before I pull it up. You want to be real careful when you're pulling up your vinyl on fabric or on canvas because sometimes it peels up the letters. It looks like I'm not being careful, but I am being super careful. I just sped it up a little bit for you guys. This is coming out so adorable. I had saw something like this online and I went to my Cameo and I made my own stencil. That way it's just a little different than everything I see online. I'm glad I used my heat gun because really nothing bled through and nothing ripped up, which was great. So now I'm just cleaning up and weeding a little bit. There are some letters that did peel up just a little bit, so I am going to go through and I'm going to just do a little Mod Podge just to make sure everything is secure and on my board. How adorable is this? This is so sweet and gives me all the feels for fall. I am so excited to get going on my home decor for the new season coming up. What is fall without some fruit? And of course, apples. So I did a little bit of apples and sunflowers here. I had gotten these plates from the Dollar Tree and this wicked pretty candle holder. I love the colors. It was kind of like copper and brown, and I thought it was going to be perfect for this tiered tray I'm going to make. So I just have a little bit of my Star Bond glue and hot glue. You guys know I am not a fan of gluing glass together, and ever since I've been using this mixture, it works so great. It literally holds together the best I've ever had. So definitely, if you want some Star Bond, go down to my description, check out my link, and get some Star Bond. Super easy. This is literally the easiest project. Again, just some Star Bond and a little bit of hot glue. I put the candle holder down and now I'm just putting the smaller plate on top of the top now to give it a 2-tiered. You could do 3 tiers, but I only found the smaller plate and the larger plate. So I kept it 2 tiers and I think that is so perfect for this project. You could put actual decor on this because it is super sturdy. But of course, I have all these apples. It is fall. It is time for some apple pie and some apple crumble. So let's get fall going the right way. This is so cute, and it's sunflowers and apples, so it's just perfect. This DIY is adorable and it's also a recipe. So I had gotten this board. It came off of the back of a framed piece that I had and it broke. It was cute. So I cleaned it up and I am painting it with my plaster from Waverly. I don't give it a full coverage, just kind of, once over, and I'm letting the wood show through. And it is an old piece, so it definitely dried a little bit too rustic, but it's cute. So I had printed off these pictures. It is the recipe for the apple cider. I printed it backwards, mirror image, and I used it on a transfer paper that had been suggested to me by another YouTuber, CJ. And this is so cute. I'm just cutting it up so that way I can space it out. And here I am just trying to space out how I want it to look. Again, it is mirror image, so you cannot see very well what it says, but I know what it is. And once I have it laid out, I am gonna go through now with my Mod Podge. So I Mod Podge on the board and then on the paper, and then I lay it down, and then I take my Mod Podge roller and I roll it really, really good to make sure it is adhered down. I'm gonna do that to all these other pieces now. I'm gonna keep going with the Mod Podge on the wood, Mod Podge on the paper, and then I lay it down where I want it and I squeegee it down. And you definitely wanna leave this overnight. I had checked it at about 5 hours and it really wasn't ready, so I just left it overnight. And this is so cute and such a good transfer paper. I do have a link down in my description for this transfer paper that CJ has suggested for me. Thank you, CJ. So after you let it sit overnight, I peeled up a little piece of the corner and I peel off that top layer first. And then there's this second layer that's a clearer film that you want to peel up. You want to make sure that the picture transferred to your item before you keep pulling. Now I have a little sander here and I am just going around and I'm sanding off where you can see like the transfer paper. There was a little bit left over, so I just go through and I give it a little rub down and just kind of smooth out that harshness of the line, so that way it doesn't really look like there was paper there, if you know what I mean. Now I have a little bit of that plaster on a dry brush and I'm going around the edges again just to soften up those lines a little bit to make it look like it's a single piece that was intended to look like this. Now I go through with a heavy covering of Mod Podge and I do it over the entire board. This just secures it in case anything wet gets on it. I am so in love with this. I think this is so sweet. I think it is adorable as a huge recipe card, but also as decor. And it is totally rustic, and I will definitely use this for years to come. I think this is so sweet. Down in the comments, let me know what you think. As I mentioned, this is an open playlist 5 under 5. And today's theme is Fall Frenzy. My friends Emily and Missy host this challenge every month, and I'm super excited to finally get back to it. Their co-host this month is Robin, and all these ladies are so amazing. You can find their channel links down in my description, as well as a link to follow along the playlist. I have been dying to do one of these fall signs for outside. Here is some letters I had printed off my Cameo. This is a board I had gotten for free. It was already like painted and oiled. I'm not really sure what was on it, but I decided just to put the letters down on the board. And you can see I'm having some difficulty because it is a treated wood. So you definitely want to pay attention to those kinds of things when you're getting something for free. You could have sanded this down, but I had an idea and you're gonna see it. So I'm just going through with my letters and you can see I'm spelling out the word fall. And I am measuring it here and there just to make sure that everything is centered and evenly spaced out. Now I have my ruler from the Dollar Tree. You guys know I love Dollar Tree crafts, although this board was a freebie, like I said, when we cleaned out my grandma's basement. I'm going to give this a quick heavy dry brush with my chalk paint and mineral and then plaster right over these letters. As you can see, there was no rhyme or reason of how much paint I dry brushed. I just kept going until I was happy with the look. And here I am just pulling up those vinyl letters now and revealing that wood underneath. So that is why I did not sand it or do anything. I love that color that was already there. These are from Dollar Tree. I just picked them off of a garland and I'm hot gluing them together, and I'm going to glue them right to my board. And here it is. It is so beautiful. I am so obsessed with this. This is my first big board like this, so I am just super impressed and so in love with how this came out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you are inspired and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I want to thank Missy and Emily and Robin for hosting this playlist today. I'm super excited. I can't wait to see what everyone else created. So make sure you head down to my description, check out the host channels as well as the playlist. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. You can find me on Instagram as Freckled Mom. Keep crafting and have a wonderful evening.